X?
It doesn't. It doesn't at all. At the end of the day, it's basketball. Basketball is meant to be physical. Like I said, I didn't even know that play happened. If you watch the clip back, no one in the stands, their bench knew that it happened. But again, that doesn't change anything of how we play basketball.
And that's the problem right there. Because when you watch the actual footage, when you see the still frames that went viral across every platform, you don't see someone playing basketball. You see a closed fist pressing down into someone's throat. And the person it happened to couldn't return to the game.
If I'm just looking at her demeanor, I don't see where she is at all sorry. Again, even if your assertion is that it was unintentional, when you hurt someone, when you look at that and go, oh my goodness, my fist is pressing down in her throat, like even if it wasn't intentional, okay, let's just give her like that. Like we're not really giving her the benefit of that, but let's just kind of say, okay.
Zero remorse, not even a hint of it. And that body language tells you everything you need to know about how this league has trained certain players to think about physicality. Because this isn't the first time Alyssa Thomas has been in this exact position, facing questions about whether her style of play crosses the line. It's not even the third time. The incident happened last Wednesday, Indiana versus Connecticut. Caitlin Clark, the player who single-handedly dragged millions of new eyeballs to this league, took a fist to the throat from Alyssa Thomas during what was supposed to be a basketball play. She also took a knee to the groin. She left the game, didn't return, back injury, they said. And for almost a week, the player responsible said absolutely nothing.
Connect. I've been wondering when we would hear from Alyssa Thomas following the incident last Wednesday. It's hard to believe it's been almost a week. But yeah, last Wednesday when Caitlin Clark took a fist to the throat, Alyssa Thomas's fist, and her groin was kneed by Alyssa Thomas.
That's the part that should bother you. Because if your name is being dragged through every sports media outlet in the country, if fans are calling you dirty, if coaches are subtweeting about player safety, and if the footage shows your fist literally embedded in another player's throat, most people would feel compelled to say something. Even if it's just, I didn't mean to hurt her, I hope she's okay. Dejanai Carrington did exactly that when she poked Caitlin in the eye earlier this season. The whole Christine Brennan controversy blew up, and Carrington immediately went on record saying she'd never do that intentionally. She didn't even know it happened in real time. You don't have to believe her, but she at least addressed it. Alyssa Thomas, radio silence for 6 days.
It's Alyssa Thomas, though. She has a history of hurting people because of the way she plays. Even if not intentional, some of these situations that even may not be intentional, she plays in a reckless fashion. And generally speaking, people are not going to give her the benefit of the doubt that it's not intentional. But you would think that you would say something, and particularly might say, I hope Caitlin is okay following that. But we have not heard anything.
That's the honest truth. Not everything needs to be a public statement. Maybe she called Caitlin privately. Maybe she sent a text. Maybe there was a conversation behind closed doors that we'll never know about. But here's what makes that unlikely. Alyssa Thomas has a well-documented history of playing in a way that results in injuries. She's been flagged for it. She's been suspended for it. She threw Dawana Bonner to the ground by her jersey in the playoffs. She's had multiple incidents with Nafisa Collier. This isn't new behavior, and the league has never forced her to change it. So when she finally did speak today, when a reporter finally got a microphone in front of her face and asked about the Caitlin Clark incident, the response wasn't an apology. It wasn't even an acknowledgement that something dangerous happened.
This WNBA needs a shift in culture because, again, this is basketball in her mind. This is how you play. So it's sort of like buck up or get out of the truck. But this is not what people want to see. I mean, there are some people, honestly, who like to see this kind of stuff. But I have to believe that the majority of people don't want to see.
This is basketball. That's the line. That's the entire defense. It's physical, it happened, nobody saw it anyway, and it's not going to change how she plays. And that right there is the culture problem the WNBA refuses to address. Because what Alyssa Thomas is saying, whether she realizes it or not, is that the league has given her permission to play this way. The one-game suspension she got was a joke, a slap on the wrist. And now she's back on the court with the exact same mindset, the exact same lack of concern for player safety, because nothing in the punishment structure told her this was unacceptable.
You would think, though, that you would be like, I am so sorry that I did that. And I'm just going to tell you a short story about myself, and this has nothing to do with basketball at all. But back in, I think it was 1992, I think it was the 4th of July, 1992 or 3. Might have been 93.
That story matters because it shows you what real remorse looks like, even when something is completely unintentional. Even in a life or death situation where survival instinct kicks in, there's still that moment afterward where you realize, I did something that could have hurt someone I care about, and that bothers me. You don't see that from Alyssa Thomas. Not in her words, not in her body language. Not in the way she framed the entire situation as just basketball, as if putting your fist in someone's throat is a normal part of the game. And the wildest part, her coach backed her up. Stephanie White went on record basically saying everyone knows AT. She's not that kind of player. Except everyone does know AT. That's the problem. They know exactly how she plays. They've seen the tape, they've watched her hurt people before. So saying that's not who she is when there's a documented pattern is gaslighting at an institutional level.
It was dangerous, just as Alyssa Thomas was dangerous, because what she did get a flagrant 2 for that situation and kicked out. But yeah, I talked about it then because it was wrong then. And then we saw the situation with Napheesa Collier. I'm not saying that she was trying to make sure that Napheesa Collier didn't get to play anymore in the postseason, but I am saying it's reckless.
Exactly. And that's not a defense of Angel Reese or anyone else who's played recklessly. This isn't about picking sides based on who the victim is. It's about a consistent standard. When Angel Reese got into it with Alyssa Thomas and took a flagrant, she went to the post-game presser and tried to act tough about it, like she wasn't going to ask for special treatment. And that was dangerous then, just like this is dangerous now. The difference is the league actually called a flagrant in that moment. They ejected Reese. There were consequences in real time. But with Caitlin Clark, the officials didn't even review it during the game. It took the league office an entire day to go back, watch the footage that millions of people had already seen, and issue a one-game suspension that means absolutely nothing to a veteran player on a playoff team.
Situation with Caitlin, did it happen? Because if you watch the clip back, she said, no one saw it happen. Well, first of all, if a tree falls in the woods and nobody saw it, did it make a sound? Did it really fall? It fell, right? The tree fell if nobody saw it. So saying that nobody saw it doesn't mean it didn't happen. Like we know it happened. There's footage everywhere that it happened. Saying that no one in the arena saw it doesn't mean it didn't happen. And not only that, did you see everybody?
Because that's the line the league has been selling for 2 years now. Physicality equals toughness. Toughness equals good basketball. And if you can't handle getting punched in the throat or kneed in the groin or having your eye nearly poked out, then maybe you're not built for this league. But that's a lie. That's not what the WNBA was built on, and it's not what fans are paying to see. The league in its early years was physical, sure. Women's basketball has always been physical, but there's a difference between playing through contact and celebrating contact as the product itself. In the Cheryl Swoops era, in the Lisa Leslie era, in the Diana Taurasi early years, the story was never, can you survive getting hurt? The story was, can you ball out at the highest level? That shifted somewhere along the way. And now you have a generation of players who think the badge of honor is how much punishment you can take or dish out, not how skilled you are.
In the arena? How do you know what everybody in the arena saw? I know that there were at least one person in the arena who saw it, because a friend of mine during the live stream texted me, and her text wasn't about that. Her text was, where in the world is Caitlin Clark? Because she was at the game. And they didn't announce at the arena Caitlin Clark's not returning to the game, or at least she didn't hear it. She texted me, where's Caitlin Clark? And then I told her that she's not returning because of her back. She's like, man, I went to the concession stand in the third quarter, came back, haven't seen Caitlin since. So she had no idea. So then I texted her, this is during the live stream, and I told everybody during the live stream, I texted her, I said, did you?
And here's the thing that nobody in the league office wants to admit. The millions of new fans who showed up in 2024 didn't come to watch MMA on a basketball court. They came to watch Caitlin Clark break records. They came to watch Angel Reese dominate the glass. They came to watch Aja Wilson put up MVP numbers. They came for skill. And every time one of those stars gets hurt because the league refuses to protect them, you lose fans. Not the hardcores who've been watching for 20 years and have accepted this as normal. You lose the new fans. The ones the league desperately needs if it's ever going to sign a media deal worth real money. Caitlin Clark is the biggest draw in women's basketball. She's probably the biggest draw in women's sports, period, right now. And she's been targeted all season long. Flagrant fouls, hard screens, cheap shots after the whistle. And the league's response has been to issue fines that amount to pocket change and suspensions that don't even cover a full game's pay.
I think it was Freedom. It was Freedom's post, and I commented on it. A lot of people want Cathy Engelbert gone. I mean, Cathy Engelbert is not necessarily the biggest problem in the WNBA, but she holds that responsibility because you are the leader and it always falls on your shoulders. So I had said some time ago during the CBA negotiations that I did think that Cathy Engelbert was going to leave. And when Adam Silver spoke, when asked about her being there, the way he answered the question.
That's the reset the league needs. Not just a new commissioner, though that might be part of it. A full cultural reset. Because right now, the message from the top down is that this is acceptable. That you can put a rookie phenom on the floor, let veterans take shots at her all season, slap them with meaningless punishments, and expect the product to grow. It won't. The TV ratings spike when Caitlin plays and crater when she doesn't. That's not an opinion, that's Nielsen data. And if she or any other star suffers a serious injury because the league decided physicality was more important than safety, those ratings don't come back. Adam Silver wouldn't let this happen in the NBA. If someone put their fist in Steph Curry's throat, there would be a multi-game suspension, a six-figure fine, and a very public statement about player safety. The WNBA has the leverage now to demand that same standard. They just have to want it.
Maybe she's just doing this season and she's going to be out. I don't know, but I do know that I feel like it needs a cleansing. And I think at times that requires new leadership. We've got great young players in this league and we have some coming, and you've got eyeballs on you. And you can have an Alyssa Thomas say, nobody saw it, so it didn't happen. And
maybe that's the move. Maybe Cathy Engelbert finishes out this season. The league signs the new CBA and she quietly steps aside. Let someone else come in and clean house. Someone who understands that the future of this league isn't built on letting veterans police rookies with their elbows. It's built on protecting the stars, marketing the skill, and creating a product that casual fans actually want to watch. Because the talent is there, the storylines are there, the audience is there. What's missing is leadership willing to make the hard call and tell players like Alyssa Thomas that this style of play is over.
Did you see what AT did to Caitlin? And she said, yes, because I'm sitting right behind the free throw. So yeah, I saw it. So this is before all the footage is out on social media and all this stuff. And she's saying, because of where I'm positioned, yeah, I saw it. So for Alyssa Thomas to go, well, nobody saw it. How you know what everybody saw?
That's the part that exposes the whole thing. She's not even denying what happened. She's saying it doesn't matter because nobody in the arena saw it in real time. As if the only things that count are the ones the crowd catches live. By that logic, if a foul happens and the ref misses it, it didn't happen. If a dirty play occurs off ball and the broadcast doesn't show it, it's not real. That's not how reality works. That's not how accountability works. And it's provably false, by the way. There were people at that game who saw exactly what happened. Fans sitting courtside saw it. People texted about it during the game before the footage even hit social media. So this idea that it was invisible is just not true. But even if it were true, even if every single person in that arena somehow missed it, we have the footage now. We've all seen it. The league saw it, that's why they suspended her. So saying nobody saw it as a defense a week later, after the suspension has already been issued, is borderline absurd.
Even if you maintain that it was not intentional, which she really didn't say, I'll get back to that. You would think, though, that you would be like, I am so sorry that I did that. And I'm just going to tell you a short story about myself.
And that's the message young players are getting. That's what the next generation of WNBA talent is watching and learning. That you can hurt someone, stay silent, give a non-apology a week later, and face zero real consequences as long as you're good enough on the stat sheet. Alyssa Thomas is a great player. Nobody's denying that. She's one of the best all-around forwards in the league. Triple-double threat every night, defensive anchor. But being great at basketball doesn't mean you get a pass on playing recklessly. It actually means the opposite. The better you are, the more responsibility you have to play the game the right way, because younger players are watching and copying what you do. Right now, what they're learning is that if you're a star, the rules are optional. The league is at a crossroads. They can either protect the product they've built, the stars who are bringing in new fans and new money, or they can keep pretending that this old-school enforcer mentality is what people want to see, because it's not. The data is clear. Fans tune in for greatness, not for grit. They want to see Caitlin drop 30, not Caitlin on the bench with a back injury because someone decided basketball means throwing elbows and fists. So here's the question the league has to answer, and they need to answer it soon. Do you want to be a niche product that appeals to a small, loyal fan base who thinks this is just how the game is played? Or do you want to be a mainstream league that protects its stars, markets its skill, and builds something that lasts beyond this moment? Because right now, you're losing the audience you worked so hard to gain. And once they're gone, they're not coming back. What do you think the league should do? Should Alyssa Thomas have faced a longer suspension? Should the WNBA change how it handles player safety? Drop your take in the comments. And if you want more breakdowns like this, where we actually go deeper than the headlines, hit that subscribe button. I'll catch you in the next one.